Okay, go. Go. Go a little bit more. A little more. A little more. Okay, stop, hold. Okay, a little more. Okay, don't go too much more, but try for a little bit more. Okay, one more time. Okay, stop. Wow, that worked perfect. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to another video with a guy and his projects. And the head cold. So today's, excuse me, today is day 4 of said head cold. And I'm doing pretty good, so we're gonna try this video and see if we can make it through. I'm feeling pretty good. A little bit of drainage, but nothing too extravagant, so we're gonna try and get through this video. It is snowing outside. I got the door and the windows open because something smells like kitty litter in here. When I say kitty litter, I don't mean the litter you use to muffle the sound. When I say kitty litter, I mean the stuff kitties litter, which makes no sense because there's no way there's a cat in here. There's no way for a cat to get in here, for one, and for two, there's just no way a cat would be in here. The only thing is with this Jeep, the guy I just bought it from had it sitting outside with the doors off. I get the feeling somebody made it a home. And this whole garage smells nasty right now, so it's freaking cold outside, indicated by the fact that it is actively snowing. It's supposed to snow for the next several hours as well. So it's super cold inside or outside. I have the heater going, turned it on about 3 a.m. It's about 7 right now. And it was a lovely 65 when I got out here. But then there's this overwhelming nasty kitty piss smell, and so yeah, windows and doors are open until that kind of clears out just a little bit, hopefully. Anyway, to the point of today's video, I'm trying to keep my back turned to the heater because that thing is really loud, and when I have my back towards it, my chest actually seems to muffle the sound pretty good based off the last couple videos. This Jeep we bought, the previous owner, well, the previous owner to the previous owner, their daughter got it T-boned. I don't know whose fault it is, don't really care. Everybody's fine, supposedly. They didn't want it. They listed it for $1,000. I wanted to buy it so bad for the engine and the axles. I just didn't have $1,000. Somebody else snatched it up and started parting it out. I actually went, he had the engine spoken for when I went to get parts from him. So I couldn't get the engine, but I got seats and stuff. Figured I'd upgrade the interior of the blue Jeep maybe. I got the door skins as well up there, and thought I had a good plan. Well, then a couple weeks go by and he still has it listed, so I asked him, hey, how about that engine? He's like, yep, the other guy didn't want it after all. So I went to go get the engine. I asked him about the axles. We made a deal, took the whole thing. He wants the transmission and transfer case back, so that is today's goal, is to get the transmission and transfer case out of here. I was going to leave the engine in this and just roll this back around behind the shop, but now that it smells like kitty litter and nastiness, I don't really want this back in the shop. So I'm going to pull the engine out with the transfer case and transmission as one assembly. All the experts on Facebook have told me that, all the experts on Facebook have told me that you remove this out, transmission, transfer case, all that comes out as one unit super easily. So I'm going to give that a shot. This guy's pretty much got everything disassembled already anyway as far as the front of the clip. So bear with me, day 4. So yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and finish removing this cross brace, which is barely even held on, so no big deal. Get rid of these, the hood latch. And then theoretically, so the blue Jeep, we had to take all this stuff off. If we're pulling this straight out, I don't think we have to. I think we can leave all this in place. So hopefully we can just disconnect the electrical. We might have to remove this box just to get it out of the way, but who cares? We'll disconnect all the electrical, all the vacuum hoses. You may have noticed, yes, this says high output. So something I'm a little interested in is none of the other WJs I have are high outputs. The 2 that still need engines are standard outputs. One's a Laredo and the other is a limited, just like the other 2. And from what I understand, as long as it's a Grand Cherokee engine going into a Grand Cherokee, the high output, standard output doesn't matter. The PCM's the same, hookups, everything's the same. It's the Dodge, the trucks, the Dakotas or the Durangos or whatever they are. Those have tone ring issues, I guess. But from what I understand, all the Grand Cherokee engines are the same tone ring. The only big difference being some knock sensors potentially, which I'm not even 100% sold on that yet. So we're gonna see. I wanna put this in. So right now, let's show you. As long as this place is still airing out. So right now we have the blue Jeep, which has the new engine in it. It's got the Blizzaks on it, all that, got the heater working good. The goal was this was going to be the winter beater on my to and from work, because I climb way up the mountain where it gets super sketchy. And the plows don't start till 5. I'm on the road at 4:30. And so this was going to be the winter beater. And it's working out okay. This is the play toy. It's got the 4-inch lift. I'm not sold on that being a long-term play toy, but it's the play toy for now. But what we have over here, got a little squirrel over there, is we have this brown WJ Limited. That's an 01 or an 02, I don't know. I think it's an 01. And then we have this silver WJ Laredo. Both of these are the 4.7 standard outputs. Both of them need an engine. That one's got a cracked cylinder from what I can see, so we can probably piece together 2 engines. This one, the guy claimed, is a timing issue, but he also claimed he only had it for a week and it was running when he bought it, but he had to haul it from the previous guy's house to his, and it's never ran in his possession. So I don't know the story on that. I'm just going to assume we need an engine, but we're going to look into that later. Either way, one of those two is probably going to get this high output. And if I do that, hey, it's cold out here. Kitty litter, or no kitty litter, we're shutting this door. Either way, one of those is going to probably get this high output engine, as long as it can work. And then whichever one gets that, that might become my winter beater because, well, it's a high output. I don't know, we'll see. This is the Overland edition. So it's got all the bells and whistles, or had before the guy started parting it out. There's some stuff I'm going to pull off of it. Like, I'm probably not going to sell the gas tank. With all the WJs, I'll probably need it. This has the Verilok axles. So that silver Laredo and the blue winter beater both have the quadrant track axles, which are open diffs. This is Verilok, so they're limited slip diffs. So these axles will probably end up under one of those. If I keep the blue one, it'll go under the blue one, and such and forth. Because the brown WJ out there that's not running also has Verilok axles. So anyway, we're gonna see if this works. But today's goal is to get the engine, transmission, and transfer case out of here so we can get this out of here, because it really stinks. And granted, yes, I'm recovering from a head cold, so I'm hypersensitive in the nasal region, but this has been cooped up in here for the last couple days. So I picked this up from the guy on Saturday morning. Today is Monday morning, so yeah, it's been cooped up in here for 2 full days, and woo! So yeah, let's get this whole thing out. We'll bring it back in later after it's even worse from sitting in the snow, and we'll switch out the axles. But for right now, the guy wants his transmission back, so we're gonna get that today, hopefully. That's the goal. You guys have already seen me rip apart the blue WJ, so this is gonna be similar but very different because I don't know what I'm doing still. So sit back, relax, leave a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment along the way, and with your guys' help, maybe we'll actually get this done. So yeah, first things first though, I was going to say let's remove the fluids from the engine and transmission, but I don't think that's actually going to be necessary. We're not going to disconnect them yet. Once they're out, it'll be easier to remove them anyway. So maybe I'll just drain the coolant, the AC. Well, the AC is already drained. I cracked one of the fittings open to verify. I'm just kidding. Relax, relax. I have a recovery machine. I have gauges. I already recovered that this morning. I set it up and let it go while I went in, brushed my teeth, grabbed a coffee and a muffin. So this is completely drained of refrigerant. We still got to do the coolant. Not a big deal. That'll go quick. And yeah, let's just get to it, guys. I don't know how this video is going to go. I'm going to make it up as we go. So stay tuned. All right. So Nice thing about having a lift is being able to lift things. So this, I don't know what size hose this is. Just a piece of junk I have. 3/8 maybe, I don't know. Just gonna stick on this little nipple here, which is probably only gonna catch some of it, but some's better than none. Crack this petcock open. Yep, it's not gonna catch any of it because it's not draining out the nipple. Of course, it's draining out the fitting. Whatever. That's dumb. So we're just gonna try and catch what we can. What we can't, we're not gonna leave sleep over. And yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that just got super messy. Good way to start the day in the shop, but whatever, that's draining. I'm gonna leave you running while I wipe off my arm. Oh no! So the other thing I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and remove these tires, mainly because with the tires removed, mainly because with the tires removed, I can drop this lower to the ground, make it easier to reach in, and then when I'm going under and out, I don't have to make sure I'm watching my head around them. Instead of hitting rubber, I can hit straight up metal, you know? That's way more comfortable. Oh. All right, so now without the tires there, you can see that they get a lot lower to the ground. Makes it a lot easier to reach in up here and whatnot. So now we're just gonna take this off here, boom, boom. And then we're gonna remove the radiator and the condenser. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that because I'm already having a hard time talking. And we barely gotten started. So I'm just going to take care of it and I'll be back. These power steering line, oh, this has the condenser and the power steering built into one unit. That blue WJ, the power steering cooler, was in a whole separate situation. Interesting, so this is not able to be switched out with every year. And so underneath on the WJ radiators, you've got your lower radiator hose right here. It goes in your thermostat, not a big deal. You've got your transmission cooler lines. They go up here and then they go up somewhere. And then down here, because this is a hydraulically controlled fan or something like that, you got your power steering line right here. And then you've got your other two power steering lines. I think these are both power steering lines right here. So all three of those have to come off, both of these and this one, in addition to the ones upstairs that we already got. I'm not going to show you because my battery's about to die. I only have so many batteries today. But we're just going to disconnect this, disconnect this, disconnect this, disconnect this, disconnect this. These may or may not be easier to do from here or here, I don't know. And we'll get rid of that. And then we should be clear to pull the radiator. I'll be back when I'm done. So we're at a point where we should be able to pull this straight out when we're ready. We're not ready. Don't think that I am, because we're still gonna have to take, well, probably actually don't need to get rid of the battery tray, because if we're sliding it straight out, we should be all right. But we're gonna have to get rid of these motor mounts probably. So we'll ditch the motor mount bracketry, not the motor mounts, but the motor mount brackets on both sides. We're gonna get rid of the intake, probably not the bottom portion of the box, but we'll get rid of the upper portion. If this is different and it looks physically different, I don't think this is the same. We'll end up needing the bottom portion when we do the swap over in the next Jeep, but that's not a huge deal. So anyway, where were we? So yeah, we'll take this intake off, take this upper plenum off just so it's out of the way when we put the chains up, and then the motor mount brackets. And I think we're pretty much home free, other than electrical, vacuum hoses, all that stuff that's connecting this to the body. And then downstairs we've got to get the transmission undone from the transmission lines and then the electrical, plus the front drive shaft. Rear drive shaft, the previous guy parting it out already removed for some reason. Not sure the reason there, but whatever. So we'll need to take off the front drive shaft, disconnect it from the transfer case and the electrical and lines, and then we should be home free. I'm actually pretty much thinking this is only going to be a couple more hours, which is good because, one, I don't feel that great. Two, I've got a radio to go in the brown Jeep, so, you know, radio, it's important. So, anywho, let me see. You guys don't really need to see this. I'm just going to start disconnecting electrical and vacuum lines, and then we'll jack this back up again later and go underneath for the transmission and transfer case. Alright guys, so it's been about an hour since we started, an hour and a half. It's been about an hour and a half since we came out here this morning. It's still snowing, but not like it was, so it might be slowing down. To summarize where we're at, I just got everything up top disconnected. So all the electrical, the harness is out of the way, fuel lines disconnected, vacuum lines are all disconnected, PCV valve line is broken, but yeah, so all this stuff is disconnected and loose. We'll rig up the engine hoist, and it's going to be very, very, very lopsided because I can't reach the transmission or anything. But anyway, we'll rig it up the best we can. We'll disconnect the engine mounts, because under the engine mounts we also have the grounds for both. You got two grounds coming from the main harness down there, and then you got a ground over here on this side that are connected, if I remember right, from the blue WJ. So we'll get those disconnected, unhook the motor mounts, and pull this out. Theoretically, as easy as that. We might actually have this out before lunch. Which honestly I didn't think this was going to be that big of a deal, but that's a little bit. I figured I'd be out here all day working on this, so if we get this done before lunch, that's great, because I haven't even eaten breakfast yet. So this is definitely not OSHA approved, or MSHA, or any other governing authority for that matter. so the duty is done. We got the engine out, the transmission out, the transfer case out, drive shaft, all that good stuff. Here's the engine, the transmission, and transfer case are in the Nissan Titan. The guy wants those back, so I'm gonna bring those to him right now. And then he also wanted the back hatch. So the back hatch is removed. That is in the back seat of the Nissan Titan. And I'll be bringing that back to him as well. He also wanted the rims and tires. Worked it out. I'm gonna give him a little bit of money, and so originally he was gonna come pick up the transfer case and all that when I was done with it. I'm giving him an extra $100 and taking him the stuff to him so that I can keep the rims, because I need to roll this around, right? So there she is in all her glory. I don't know if we're gonna part it out or if I'm just gonna tarp it in the back and let it sit and pull things off as I need them. I don't imagine needing a whole lot of this. Some of the electrical I might need. Maybe the ECM can be reprogrammed to a different vehicle if needed, like that brown limited WJ out back. I think that one is not running because of the PCM, maybe, I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at it yet. There's not really a whole lot of more parts I'm interested in. I'm definitely gonna take the axles when I'm ready, but then I gotta figure out how to get the rest of this onto a trailer to take it to the junkyard guy, which I can't do till I get a title, which is gonna be a minute still. So yeah, we're just gonna let this sit in the backyard. We'll probably tarp it. This might actually be a good place to store some of this other spare parts, like the old engine. So the old engine, the idea with this is now that I have a good engine, I can take this bad engine, the bad engine from one of the other WJs, and between the two of those bad engines make one good engine, put this in one, and then with the other engines combined, make one good engine, put that in the other, and theoretically all the WJs are running, can sell them all and theoretically make some money and build something to make a toy, like a 4Runner or Tacoma, Frontier, Colorado, Xterra, I don't know. Something to build into a rock crawler toy or kind of like a buggy type thing. I don't really know what I want to do yet, but yeah. Not really a whole lot more parts here to salvage, so until I'm ready for the axles, or until I'm ready to ditch the body, I should say, this is gonna stay on the axles. Yeah, pretty much that's the story there. So yeah, this will go in one of the other WJs here shortly. Remember, if you liked what you see, make sure you leave a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, check out my other videos. If you're interested in the WJ, there's tons of them. I've got several videos and crap tons more coming. We've become a bit of a WJ fanatic over here on accident. Not by design, just because that's just, I've fallen into them now. So stay tuned. That's not going to take me away from, I still got the Titan, the Super Duty, the Expedition. We still got cars, 350Z, Sentra, vans, minivans, all that stuff. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.